Okay, so we've shown you how to build a list in Twitter. Twitter is generally more considered a tool by journalists, whereas Facebook, I think people don't think of it often as a tool that you can use. But you can actually create lists and subscribe to lists on Facebook that will make it exceedingly valuable, especially if you're someone who wants to kind of keep track of various aspects of maybe a particular beat or a larger subject in general. But let me show you a little bit about how to create lists. So go to your Facebook page. Now, I think one of the reasons why people don't build lists in Facebook nearly as much as Twitter is that it's not easy to find. I mean, you look on this page and it's I actually just spent 10 minutes trying to find it again, and I've built dozens of lists. What you want to do is come over to your left-hand side of your screen. You'll want to scroll down, and down here you'll see interests. Now, the only problem is I don't know if you don't currently have any interests if this will show up. So that's a bit of a mystery to me, but I do, and what I'll do is click on interests, and this will take me to a particular point where I can add interests. And this is an interesting area because basically it comes with a bunch of suggestions. So this is sort of the starting point. If you don't find something in here that you're interested in, then you'll have to create your own, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But initially, the thing that you want to do is look and see if there's something in here that you're interested in subscribing in, and that would be, in this case, Vadim Larusik is a fellow who works at Facebook, and I kind of like some of the lists he compiles. So I'm going to subscribe to this one. And what that will do is actually show up in my feed as a list. And the nice thing about that is it doesn't show up in a way that has every single person featured in there. It shows a couple, and then you can click into it and sort of see what you want for there. The other aspect here is you can create a list. So once you've gone to this area, you can click on this, and this will give you the option to build a list. And you can, just like Twitter, you can search for people, or you can search your friends or add your friends to various lists. And again, you've got your subscription. So these are pages. I could build a list out of pages that I follow. And again, this just helps me compile everything into a nicer, tighter viewing platform so that I don't have to scroll through hundreds and hundreds of things. This also allows me to get around Facebook's EdgeRank algorithm and create lists that are much better, suited to my interests, and I catch everything in those lists. So I could easily do this by, just highlighting a number of these pages. I'm just doing random ones, and I would click next, and that would basically allow me to name the list. And again, just like Twitter, you can make the list public. You can allow only friends to see it, or only you. And so that's a nice option if you don't want people to see the list that you're building. So that's how you create a list. The other thing to know about Facebook lists and lists that are already created and lists that you build yourself is that it's really easy to add your friends to create a list on the fly, so to speak. And so I'll go here, go to my friends list. And basically, all you have to do is hover over this, friends, and it'll allow you to add them to lists that you've already created. Now, if you don't, you can just scroll all the way down to the bottom here and create a new list. Name it right there, put that person in it, and then it'll show up on anybody else that you want to add to that list. So again, this is a nice way to sort of build lists, and you could I've done this before. I've just gone through my entire friends list and sort of categorized people into various lists, and again, it allows me to see, for instance, my family members. I can easily view them in a particular list, and it helps me to see what they're doing where they might not show up in my feed every day. So in review, what you want to do is go to your left hand side when you're in your Facebook feed. Go to your left side of your page, scroll all the way down, and click on interests. And that's going to get you to the point where you can actually see the interests that you already have. And if you don't, I'm guessing what's going to happen is you'll have this add interest button. And from there, again, you can just scroll down and see which ones already exist because there's a lot of lists out there. Again, everything from here you've got causes, entertainment, food, a lot of lists you can subscribe to. A lot of great content out there, and you just hit subscribe. If you don't want to go that route, you hit create list, and you have this whole toolbar here for building out lists, from your friends, from pages, or from people that you subscribe to. For instance, you can build lists out of a lot of famous people that maybe you're not friends with, but you subscribe to on Facebook. So that's a very quick rundown of how to build lists, subscriptions, and basically create interests within Facebook. I'm not sure if I can find one, but generally speaking, when you see an interest group come up, I'll just scroll down here and see if anything has gone this morning. So here's an interest group right here, tech news. Now, if I click into it, it's going to show me all the posts, but generally speaking, it's only going to show a couple of posts. So I can get a gist for what's the newest things added to that. If I want to see more, I'll click right into it, and it'll take me to my interest list. This was a list built by Robert Scoble, and it basically covers anything tech related. And so there's a lot of posts in here that I can go back and kind of catch things that are interesting to me. And that's how you build lists and subscriptions in Facebook.